Check, check, 1 1. Hello, this is the podcast. Yay! Hey guys, I'm Loren, and welcome to the first episode of The Latest with Loren LoRosa, the podcast, bitches. Okay, I shouldn't have said bitches, just in case, sponsors and all that good stuff are listening. How are you guys? Oh, I have sound effects. Woo! Let me see. Check, check, 1 1. Hello, this is the podcast. Hey guys, I'm Loren, and welcome to the first episode of The Latest with Loren LoRosa, the podcast, bitches. Okay, I should have said bitches, just in case, all that good stuff for listening. How are you guys? Oh, I have sound effects. I'm recording them. You heard my sound effects? I got sound effects. Oh my God, I'm so excited. It's so crazy because I did this. When I first left TMZ, I was doing a podcast in Delaware, and it was going really well, by the way. And dang, let me plug this in a little bit. And it was going well, but I was like, yo, how am I gonna afford to do this every day at this rate? Like, what the heck? There's no way I'm gonna be able to afford this. And I decided to stop doing it. And it was long. We were recording it for way too long. Everything works out in due time, because now here I am back with a podcast in the comfort of my own home. You know, we have video, we have producers through the Black Effect Network, and it's a smaller scale production, but it's my baby and we are just starting, and period. Okay, mama's baby is going to be, I was going to say mama's baby, daddy's maybe, but that's not crazy, because why would I just say that? Like, I wouldn't know who my baby dad is. But okay, let's go back to what I was saying. What I was trying to say is I'm proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself because, second go around, but just as good. Like, I'm proud. We going to do this. So, okay, we're about to actually start. I just wanted to, my phone's on 18%. I should be cool. I'm going to turn my volume down. I mean, my brightness down.
Oh, you need that.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to turn the brightness down. I'll be fine.
That's backup audio.
Okay. Oh, I need to. Wait, I'm gonna start it over.
Just hit that.
Oh, this is the stopwatch, right? Yeah. Okay, bet. And then this is the audio, so I'll put this here. And then I need the headphones. So let's test what sound effects I have. I could test it. I was gonna say live on air. So used to being on air. Okay. Okay, let's get it going. Oh, I have sound effects. I have sound effects, y'all. Yes, we are here. Welcome. This is the first episode. This is the inaugural episode. I think inaugural means first. I'm supposed to know that. Yes. Inaugural means first. This is the first episode of The Latest with Loren LoRosa, which is a podcast where we are doing all the things, okay? We are doing all the things. So I'll be here, as you guys have heard in the trailer, and me talk about every day, Monday through Friday, breaking down the latest, the hottest, the trending, in exclusive celebrity news and pop culture news. Also, I'll be bringing you guys exclusives here. So it'll be like a hear it here first, talk about it here first thing. We'll be doing an extension of what you will also be seeing me do weekdays on The Breakfast Club right here Okay, so this very first episode, I just wanted to open it up with something very, personal and near and dear in the headlines. So we are going to get right on into some things. I know if you guys are listening to this, you're like, oh wow, I'm so excited for her. I've been watching her. Or you're tuned in because you recently just, I don't know, began to learn to hate me or whatever the case may be because you think I stole Jess's job. So we are going to talk about it right here, right now. I want to start this off by saying, for everybody that, reached out and called me or text me, I made a lot of new support system and community, just, through via people DMing me on Instagram and, all that stuff, just checking in, making sure I was good, making sure Jess was good, making sure, we understood that like, yo, y'all, like, hey, this is a moment for y'all to really show the world with two Black women on a major media platform who are going to be faced with, obstacles and different things will still come after this, what y'all can do and how y'all can do it. For everybody who reached out sincerely and wasn't trying to get some information for a story or get a quote or just be messy, I appreciate y'all. I know that Jess appreciates you guys too, because for the first time ever in my life, I wasn't reaching out to break the story. I wasn't detailing the story. I wasn't regurgitating a story. I was the story. And I thought when I left TMZ and I came over to the Breakfast Club and I said and I announced live on air that I left TMZ. You guys remember that? If not, here's the clip.
Let's get right into your story. So you were formerly of TMZ.
I was there for a little over 7 years,
wow.
and recently decided, I got some skin in this, have learned a few things, and recently decided that, it was just time for me to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I have a company called Brown Girl Grinding. It's a broadcast media production company. We have clients on the marketing side. We are in the show development space. But more importantly for me, my next goal on my list is like, I want a show. I want people to learn me and get to know me and, my opinions. And, I was working on that with TMZ, but I started feeling like if I do this here, when I leave, I can't take it. They're not going to let me own it. It wasn't structured the way that I wanted it to be and how I felt like I needed it to be for me to really just grow as a brand and as a company. So I had a conversation internally, and from that conversation, I just decided that if right now I don't take this leap of faith on myself and launch Brown Girl Grinding with Loren LoRosa, the podcast, which will be dropping next week, I'm always be sitting here and trying to figure out what would have happened if I did it.
I thought that was like, okay, here's what it feels like to be the news, to be the headline, right? And that came and went. That was like a drop in the bucket. I had no idea. Fast forward almost, a little bit over a year later, we're at the Breakfast Club, we're doing our thing. And as you guys saw live on air, there's some bumps in the road. We were figuring it out live and in real time. And even during that time, one of the things that I'm so grateful for is just my spiritual journey. I'm really grateful for my church. Shout out to Seeds of Greatness 302 in Delaware. You guys can watch them online if you're not in Delaware. Pastor Jerome Lewis, and most importantly, his son, Jerome Lewis Jr., and Jerome Lewis Jr.'s wife, Nettie. Those two together have been, and they're going to listen to this and probably be like, oh my God. They're like unofficial spiritual mentors to me. And I'm really grateful for them because like without them, I don't think that I would have been, spiritually and mentally in a place where I could have endured everything that I was dealing with on my own behind the scenes. Like, and in me talking about this today, it's not to conjure up anything or stir up anything, because when I tell y'all me and Jess are good, we're good. And when I tell y'all as things come, because it's a team of four very opinionated people and we're gonna be good. We're gonna figure it out. I think that this and a lot of the other things that led up to this have helped us really understand, what communication should look like. And, we're good. But I wanted to talk about just kind of like what my point of view and my perspective and just my experience was there. And the biggest thing I kept telling myself is like, dang, Loren, I'm so proud of you, because Loren a year ago, Loren 2 years ago, Loren 3 years ago would not have been able to kind of remove herself and be empathetic, to a woman who just had a baby, trying to figure things out on a platform with 8 to 9 million, listeners and all these homes and all these markets. And, you have social media. But even stepping outside of her and just bringing it to myself, me a few years ago wouldn't have been able to, just see everything that I worked for and everything that I had on the table and how important that was and how important maintaining a certain composure, a certain level of professionalism, and just knowing like, girl, it's rough and this ain't what you imagined, you know what I mean? And you coming in here and you have no ill will or no ill intention, but it's not about you. There's so many other things that are bigger right now that are above you. You got to sit back and do your thing, put your head down, do the work, and let it stay above you. And, you know, just it stays true to what your intentions are. And I think nothing could have prepared me for that more than my relationship with God that I have right now. And I was raised in the church. So I've always had a relationship with God. That's, you know, my family and all of that. Like, that's just how I was raised. But I think when you're grown and you establish that relationship yourself, it is so different. And like a year ago when I decided to like get my apartment in New York and I was trying to figure everything out, one of the things that I did was I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give my life to God again. Not gonna get emotional. It's a good emotion though. Y'all got me like B Simone up here crying on this podcast about God. Like, what is happening right now? But when I did that though, I knew that it was a conscious decision, and I told myself then that I was like arming myself with everything that I was going to need to go to this like next level of things. And God, when I tell y'all, I had no idea everything that was going to happen. It's not, and this is not about like the Jess Instagram live. I mean like everything. I just mean like, you know, me being blessed with the opportunity to be at, like, I left a job. When you get on television as a personality, you don't take yourself off of TV. I don't care how unperfect that situation is, baby, you figure it out and you make it work. And for me, you know, being at TMZ and being in LA, and LA is a number one market, or, you know, at least because things change, numbers change or whatever. I know it's at least top 5 market, and you're on television and you're on primetime and you're a daytime talk show, and no one really knew who I was. You know, people knew, but like it was like, oh, the girl from TMZ. To leave that and go to a platform where like I was able and you guys were able to learn me, get to know who I was, and you know what I mean? I was just like, man, God is really moving in my life, and I just need to prepare because it's going to level up. And that's what it did. It just kept leveling up, kept leveling up, kept leveling up, even behind the scenes, like being able to create moments for the Breakfast Club. When people hear me say, you know, I'm a producer at the show, or I'm a senior news producer, I left TMZ at the senior level. I left TMZ as a senior news producer and came over to the Breakfast Club and was working with them for some time, you know, off camera, and just being able to like make moments come to life. Like, I remember the first time that Charlamagne mentioned to me, just, or us, no, it was like, I think I was just talking to him regularly, just off camera, like just on some like, oh yeah, I was talking to Wendy Williams. I was like, wait, what? You were what? And he was like, oh, I was talking to Wendy. And I'm like, can we talk about this on the show? He's like, you think? Yeah, like, I mean, but you think we should? I was like, are you crazy? Do you know how long the world has been waiting for Charlamagne and Wendy Williams to be in conversation of any sort? Like, we've heard so much of your story and how Wendy's connected to you and blah, blah, blah. Like, what do you mean? Hell yeah, we should talk about this. Like, little moments like that. Like, I don't think people, and him getting on air and Jess, Envy, and Charlamagne having that conversation and being able to be like, I'm sitting from the studio and I'm watching, I'm like, man, this is gonna go crazy. And you know what I mean? And I remember, like, even in that moment, knowing that that was going to go, and it did. That was when he talked about, you know, how radio ready Wendy was. And I'm like, man, that's going to go. And it did. It was everywhere. All the blogs picked it up. There's been so many moments like that, whether I was in the room on camera or I was, you know, behind the scenes producing, where my job entailed me making conversation. And when I created my production company, Brown Girl Grind, and when I decided to leave TMZ, it was a big, that was my like focus. It was like, okay, I want to create conversation that matters, but that really shakes the room for real. So when I got on the other side of that, and now the conversation that's shaking the room is about me following Jess going live on Instagram, I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. My first reaction was like, what the fuck? Like, what's happening right now? wait, what? And I just knew it was something because people just kept sending me live. I'm like, okay, either she's on there because, you know, like behind the scenes, I knew that like things weren't perfect. I knew she wasn't the most happiest person. But I think in my role, I can only speak for myself. I was trying to do as much as I could to make sure that things worked out well enough where she could at least show up and do her job comfortably. Like that was my job. And it wasn't about me as talent at that point. It was like, okay, me and my producer role, the show has to work. Like this full product has to product. And how can I make that happen? So I was doing everything I could, but I think it was obvious that, you know, she wasn't happy and she was, you know, trying to figure things out. And I had to learn that there was nothing, again, it was so much of me learning, Loren, that's above you. Like that had nothing to do with me or her. I mean, a lot of it is something that, you know, and I can't speak to her experience and I don't want to. I think she'll, you know, we've talked about it on air. I don't know if she'll revisit this or not. But a lot of her figuring out her voice in that space is a her thing. But coming in, I wanted things to work so well that, you know, I was just like, okay, if I gotta lean, if I gotta bend, if I gotta get off air, whatever I gotta do, it's like, okay, bet, I'm down for the team. Like this is home team. Like let's do it. So to see it not work out the way that I wanted it to, and then to see the big explosion on Instagram Live, I was like, all right, like, woo. And then my phone started going crazy. I mean, like calls, text, DMs, emails from media outlets, tweets, DMs on Twitter, TikTok, wherever somebody could reach me at, they were reaching. My concierge in my building, like everybody, like it was crazy. Like I've never experienced anything like that. Never in my life. All of a sudden, I was the story. I was the trending topic. We were. It was crazy as hell to me. Like being on the other side of that, I don't even know how to describe it other than saying like it was crazy as hell. And the first night, I'm not gonna hold y'all. Like we joked about the elevator thing. I was pissed. I was so pissed. And I was so mad because I'm like, yo, we all in here, you know what I mean? Like taking bullets for the team. Like we all in here wanting things to happen that aren't happening and blah, 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 blah. And like figuring this out in real time and whatever. And none of us went live at all. And, you know, and this is not, me and Jess have talked about this, but I think my biggest point was just like, whoa, hold on. It's not us versus you. We all in this trying to figure this shit out. So I think I was a bit disappointed. I think I was mad. I was real mad. I was like, okay, this is gonna make things weird, and they've already been weird. I don't feel like nothing else being more weird. Like it's not enough shots in the world that's gonna get us through this. The next day, we still got to go to work. It's like Wednesday, so we still got 48 hours of work, you know, for the week. It was just a very weird situation. But again, it's also too, I've never been the story. So just navigating that in the world in real time, I was like, okay, like you pull up to park your car the next morning at work and everybody's like, hey, how are you? You doing okay? It's like, ask me what you want to ask me. Dang, you walk in and security's like, well, you know, I think you're doing a good job. Don't even worry about it. It's like, okay, say what you trying to say. It was just like even to this day, me and Jess laughed about this on Friday. We was walking out the building together, and the way security looked, they were like, oh shit, they walking out together. I was like, yo, Jess, everywhere we go, people looking like, and she was like, yeah, they looking at us like, okay, y'all all right? Y'all good? And it's as crazy as this is going to seem. When I came into this, I remember feeling like, all right, it's us against the world, because you've never seen this. You've never seen two Black women on a mainstream platform that picks up across so many different, you know what I mean? I mean, Fox, Shade Room, CNN, TMZ, Hollywood Unlocked, all of the things, right? But in you never seeing it, it's like, number one, we don't really have like a guide. We're figuring it out. But number two, so many people are going to like want to put their hand in it, stir it up. The noise is going to come. And I was always like, all right, fuck all that outside shit. Like, it's us. Like, forget everything outside. It is us. And I think like our program director, her name is Thea Mitchum. one of the things she always says to me is like, and I had to learn it because y'all know I come from TMZ. I come from like instant, like this working, it's not. What's the story? What's the headline? To just let things breathe. And I think that is what this whole experience has taught me on another level, is to let things breathe, because what is supposed to happen will happen. Charlemagne always says God is the best author and finisher, or author in something. But basically, he's writing a story. He's like the puppet master. And I'm a very faith-based person. I started out talking about that. But it's not even about faith. This has taught me like a stillness of like, hey, I'm going to do as much as I can do. And then I'm going to just keep doing the work, and I'm going to be still, and everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to, even if it has to explode. That is what this has taught me. So now, we've had our conversations. We had a really great conversation with Angie Martinez, and, like, it just, I don't know. It kind of feels like it's not the way I would have wanted things to go at all. But, I'm glad that we were able to have certain conversations. I did wish that there was more that we could have talked about, since we were putting everything out there. But even that, I got to a point where I'm like, I'm okay with, what I know my intentions are in this situation and how I've treated people. And that's the biggest thing for me, is like, no matter, I don't care what you do to somebody physically, what you say to them, where you take them, what they experience with you, they're never going to forget how you made them feel. And as long as I feel good about how I made the people internally involved in the situation feel, I was like, you know what? If that's what my sis need to do to, get to where she needs to be okay, to be able to figure out what that next step is, because things did change really fast. And that's a lot to deal with in front of the world. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we were thrown into it. Like that, don't get me wrong, I was pissed about that. But when I sat back and looked at it, I'm like, man, like, people keep, first of all, y'all telling me I'm an industry plant. Because of this whole thing, y'all are like, oh my God, you an industry plant. Oh my God. What else they say? They said that this was all staged to promote my podcast. Y'all, do y'all think that Jess, let me tell y'all, okay, one thing I will say, Jess is not going to crash out to promote my podcast at all. Like, she's down with all the shits. She going to come. She going to have a good time. She going to support. But the level of what we did, or what we went through, because I didn't do nothing. I didn't get on that live. But the level of what we all just experienced as a unit, and me for the first time, and her for the first time, not her first time going viral, but in that space at the Breakfast Club, she wasn't going to just do that and make herself look like that just to promote a show. Like, that's not even her show. Like, when people are saying that, I'm like, are y'all like, what's her benefit of that? Even at the Breakfast Club, but there's other things that we could have done to stir up conversation around the Breakfast Club. But also, too, it's the Breakfast Club. You don't got to stir up nothing, baby. The pot is mixing. Okay, we the biggest, the baddest, the largest. Period. We didn't have to do all that. So, but when I'm hearing people say that stuff, I'm like, mama, I made it. Honey, next y'all need to start telling me y'all think I'm in the Illuminati so these checks could keep rolling in, okay? Because when y'all tell people they're in the Illuminati, they rich, all right? No, none of this was staged. None of this was to promote the show. This was real. In real time, you saw someone have some feelings and express them the best way that she knew how to do. That was a real thing. But in moving forward, like, we dropped The Boy Is Mine remake. We called it The Job Is Mine. And I think I was nervous about not doing the video because, like, we had a good time and I was with all the shits. I keep cussing. I don't know if I should keep cussing like that because I'm trying to get sponsors. And I was with all the stuff. But I was just like, dang, are people going to feel, like, worn out by the moment now? Because it was everywhere, y'all. I mean, MSNBC, Page 6, TMZ, the only one who didn't touch it. Hey, TMZ, it's okay. Y'all can do stories that center around me. I'm not a disgruntled ex-employee. I actually speak very highly of my time there. Hi, Harvey. Hi, Charles. Hello. Nice to meet you guys again. I'm Loren LoRosa, senior news producer at The Breakfast Club, the host of TheLatest with Loren LoRosa podcast. Okay? Anyway, that was a little shade because that has been bugging me too, but we'll talk about that in another episode. Dang, I gotta write this up because I got other stuff to talk about. But moving forward, we did The Boy Is Mine remake. We called it The Job Is Mine. Jess wrote the lyrics to it. We recorded it. The whole team jumped in. At first, it was just me and Jess, like, all right, we're going to do this, blah, blah. We're going to do it this way. But we was looking at the video. We were trying to figure out, like, different scenes. And then when the rest of the producers at the Breakfast Club saw us doing it, they all hopped in. So now you got people giving us, yo, y'all should do this scene. We should shoot this angle. It worked out so well and so seamlessly because I think, again, going back to originally what I was telling you guys that I learned from this is just to let things breathe and to be still in things and just, you know what I mean? You got to put your head down, do your work and do your thing the best way you know how to do. When we did that, like, so we're in there making this video. I'm doing what I know how to do, which is like be Loren, be cute. We, you know what I mean? We laughing, we joking. Jess is doing what she know how to do, which is be Jess with the mess, the sketches, and you know what I mean? She rewrites the lyrics. She's like, okay, no, Lo, come back in and say this and blah, blah. And it just worked so well and it felt so good. Like Friday, shooting that video, I was like, dang, are people gonna be like, okay, y'all dragging it now? But once it got finished and we watched it, and then we premiered it on the radio during Nyla's segment, and just to see like how it was received, and it just felt good. It felt like, okay, like, you have an argument with your sibling or like your mom, your dad, whoever, or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever your partner is, however you identify, whatever you do. And then y'all get through it, and it's like, okay, I'm glad we might have needed that because that communication needed to happen. It felt good. It felt like, okay, we are through it. It happened. It taught me a lot about being the actual story and how to handle that and, you know what I mean, what to do, what not to do. Making sure my pictures is fly as I don't know what on the gram or wherever else, because all the photos the media outlets were grabbing of me, baby, I was T, okay? I was giving it up. It looking good, all right? But yeah, it felt good to just finally be moved on and be in a really good space. And I think that people received it well because they could feel that genuinely we both were like, it's not a competition. Like, you do what you do, I do what I do, and we are here. Granted, again, it's 4 people for the first time figuring this out together. This is my first time ever working with any of these people. We might rub heads again, you know what I mean, bump heads again, but we are in a space now where we will figure it out. And when I said this on the show, I meant this. Like when I said, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere, we're going to figure this out, I meant that. Like when I am dedicated to something, it's all or nothing. It's 200% or not at all. So we're going to figure it out. But I did want to take the time to just, come on here and number one, just, talk through that and just let you guys know that experience was crazy as hell. So if I haven't texted you back since that, if you called or text me or whatever, however you try to reach out to me to figure out how I was doing, if I was okay during all that, I was fine. But baby, I was, for the first time ever, overwhelmed with people. Literally. I'm still right now, like, getting on social media for me right now is still kind of crazy because instead of me being able to filter through stuff and look at stories, people talking about me. And I'm like, that's not even true. What you talking about? But I can't. It's like, why would I say something? Y'all think I'm an industry plant? Baby, plant me. Plant me in multiple industries. I'm trying to act, modeling. Can y'all plant me where the brands, with the money is at for all of the beauty stuff? Because I want to do some campaigns. Get me lit, okay? Period. So I did just want to talk about that for a second before we went over to the next topic because I was a big trending topic. It happened. Yeah. And now we're here. So make sure you go check out our video. The Job Is Mine. You can see it on the Breakfast Club's YouTube channel. It's on my YouTube channel. It's on my Instagram, my TikTok. I'm Loren LoRosa everywhere. And yes, we are coexisting in the best way that we know how. We are learning every single day, and it's real. It's authentic. It's happening. And somebody said something really good the other day. Oh, it was actually Angela Yee. Angela Yee did an interview. She sat down with Fox 5 DC. And when I saw that video, my heart dropped because I'm like, oh, Lord, what did she say? Is there going to be more headlines? And then when I watched it, I was like, nah, I appreciated what she said. She said, a lot of times, like, you don't get to see people learn in real time. And I think that is the advantage of bringing like me and Jess, who are young and, like building in our careers. Like, yes, we have accomplished things. Like Jess is a very accomplished traveling comedian and actress and mom and now fiance. I am a very accomplished journalist and daughter and personality across many facets. Like, but we're still, there's so much more that I know we both want to do. There's so much more that I know we're both going to do in the Breakfast Club studios and outside of it. And we're figuring it out in real time. And I've always been very authentic with my audience about like, hey, I'm figuring it out and this is what this looks like. And that's what y'all got to see. So I'm glad that y'all can see it and y'all can see us get through it. Make sure y'all go check out The Job Is Mine and listen to the song and let me know what you feel about it. But no, y'all, this was not a gimmick. This was not promo for the podcast, promo for the Breakfast Club. This is me addressing that and shutting that down. I'm debunking that story, okay? A source close to Jess, Charlamagne, Envy, and Loren tells me that that was not set up. That was not fake. Jess went live. It was real. It happened. We're moving on. It is done. We are in a good space. And that's it. That's all. Things happen. It happened. It's done. It's a wrap. Next story. And that's crazy. How was the story? It's pretty freaking insane. Okay. So next story. I want to talk to you guys about Cardi B and Offset. So Cardi B and Offset, anytime I report on Cardi B and Offset, it's always, and I don't know Offset personally. I've been in conversation and I've met Cardi and been around Cardi and, I know Cardi a bit, but like, we're not like besties or whatever, but just, and me having a mutual friend who works with her and have been reporting on her for so long, I built a working relationship with her team and her, but anytime I report on them, I feel like so invested. And people are probably going to listen to this and be like, why are you so invested if you don't even really know them like that? But I think it's because they're young also. Like when you talk about being young and figuring this out in real time, especially doing things online, Cardi B and Offset really, really come to mind for me because everything that Cardi does is online. Every time she's feeling something, every time she's reacting to something, you are going to hear about it. You're going to see it. And Offset as well. And I know, like, there was like one time me and Jess had reported on Offset and he was pissed off. He was mad. He didn't like us. He was like, we don't know the full story. He hit Envy in his feelings and blah, 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 blah. And he recently got mad at Jess for mentioning him on Club Shay Shay. And I thought that that was corny. I thought it was corny because she didn't, well, now she called him stupidity. So, so now she might have said some things that's going to piss him off. But at that time, Jess didn't say anything that was like biased. She didn't say anything that was like, you know what I mean? Like coming for him or like dragging him or nothing like that. She was very honest about what we've all been witnessing in the public for a very long time with Cardi B and Offset. So whenever I report on them, I try to make sure that I like whatever I say, I want to make sure I'm going to stand on it because as people hear this and as he hears this or whoever, people are going to have some feelings about it. I was very disappointed. When I say very disappointed, I mean extremely disappointed by what I heard over the weekend from Cardi B about Offset. So Cardi B went on Twitter Spaces and she accused Offset of threatening to kill her and himself. And she also said that Offset had actually sent videos of Offset and Cardi engaged in sexual activities to the new person that Cardi was dating. Let's take a listen.
I asked you to do one thing and you didn't do it, so now I'm gonna do it. Stop calling me. I don't care. I don't give a. So let me tell y'all about this, all right? For the past couple of months, I've been very quiet, but I've been going through a lot of stuff that I keep to myself. First thing first, this guy, right, is upset because I sent his girlfriend text messages of him begging me, saying he was gonna take away his life, begging me, saying he's gonna take away my life. All that he was mad. He's mad about that. Mind you, this man sent text messages to somebody that I was dealing with of me and him having sex. That's the type of shit I've been dealing with for the past 2 months. Every time he knows that I go out of town, he harasses me. He leave me voice notes trying to put my self-esteem to the ground. And I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of him and his got all these lawyers. I asked you to do one girlfriend, playing games on my phone, leaving explicit voice notes on my fucking voicemails on my phone. I told this girl, hey, why you? I hit this girl up before. Like, yo, I better not find out you in my house. This girl gonna tell me, why you care that I'm in the house? You haven't been there for 3 years. Girl, how you gonna tell me why I'm mad that you in my house when that's my house that I bought? Are you okay? And then he's gonna FaceTime me with his girl. Mind you, yo, you've been harassing me and harassing the men that I've been dealing with for months already. You've been harassing my friends. You send people to get my friend beat up, my homegirl beat up. You got my mama calling. I don't give a I told you. I told you. Now, if you don't want me to send message.
Okay, so it cuts off there. And there was more to it. Like Cardi B gets on these X spaces a lot and just kind of like goes off. And then normally what'll happen is it's like Offset will respond via Twitter or something like that. I'm actually going to check right now to see if he responded because I didn't see a response from him. I know I saw him post a picture today with a caption, but the caption was like short. It really had nothing to do at all with anything. I don't know. I think that if what Cardi is alleging is true, all of that is trash. Like, that is such trash behavior from a man. Granted, I don't know all the details of their breakup. I don't know all the details of who did what, when they did it, who they did it with, where they slept at, who they slept with, whatever. I don't know any of that. But what I do know, and what we all do know, is that Cardi B has children by Offset. So that means that everything she is alleging that Offset has done, he is doing this to the mother of his children. These children are, yes, they're babies, right? But these children are old enough and they're human beings. So they'll feel what their mom is dealing with. They'll feel what their mom is going through. And I think a lot of times in situations like this, like, men are quick to say, well, everybody always thinks about the woman in a breakup. Everybody always thinks about, well, what did the man did? What did the man do? Especially in situations like this, because Offset has such a history of being the cheater in the relationship. But it's hard for me to even consider, right? So before we knew that this was happening, before Cardi got on these X's over the weekend, X aces over the weekend, and talked to us about, you know, Offset allegedly sending text messages, allegedly sending videos, you know, threatening to kill her and then himself, allegedly, right? Before all of that was known, there's always been this thing of like, okay, you have Offset, he's doing whatever he's doing. We're always hearing about him allegedly with other women. There was the girl Pre. This is like, you know, the girl Pre. I'm not for sure if that's who Cardi is referencing when she says Offset's girlfriend, because after Pre, and Pre is the girl that Offset allegedly had pregnant, who got the abortion, and then her and her friend were online arguing. It was like this whole thing. Then those text messages came out where Cardi B was, or not text messages, DMs came out where Cardi B was referencing to Pre as Offset's girlfriend when they were in there, a back and forth. But since then we've seen Offset out. I forget where he was at, what country he was in, but he was like out shopping with this girl. So I don't know who she's talking about. I don't know if it's Pre. I don't know who it is. But if Offset is in another relationship, it's like, why not just go be in that relationship? Because from everything that we've seen publicly, and I think if he's upset about people speaking on it in this way, come out and defend yourself. Tell us something. Show us something. Because I would say that it's nobody's business and you don't have to do that, Offset, but you obviously care because you react anytime people are platformed in talking about this, from what we understand and what we know, from what you have shown us or what we've seen publicly, right? Every single time we hear about this, the narrative and what we see is you have Cardi B, who may not be perfect. Again, we don't know all the dirt. May not be perfect, but she's at least respectful enough where we don't know her dirt. We always know yours, though. We always hear about the women that you're allegedly dealing with. We always hear about, I mean, I remember the DMs from Jade that, you know, he came out at one point and said his page was hacked. It's up to you guys to believe. You know, there's a lot of things. And I think, too, when you work in the industry and you're on the inside of things and you know certain things, there's a lot that a lot of us know that a lot of times we don't even get on these platforms and talk about it. Even if we don't know, I don't get on them and get on here and talk about it because certain things I don't know to be fact, but even things that I do know to be fact because of the relationship that I have, with people close to the situation, I don't get on here and talk about because I understand what it's like to be in a relationship, the relationship not be perfect, your man doing whatever he doing, your girlfriend doing whatever she doing. You know what I mean? Whether it's in response to or initiated, I cheat, you cheat back, I cheat back, whatever the case may be. I've been there, done that multiple times. So I understand what it's like to be a human in a situation like that. But at the same time, I hope that didn't mess up my recording. Somebody was calling me. But at the same time, I think that there's just a way that you should handle and that you should carry a woman. Why is calling me back again? If somebody calls you, if you call somebody and they hang the call up, don't call back. I see the call. I hung it up. Don't call me back. Okay. But anyway, yes. So I just think that regardless of who's doing dirt where, right? Like wherever the blame is going to be, I think that there's a certain level of respect that you should carry about somebody that you once were in love with, that you know what I mean, you dealt with, you had kids with, you publicly had a relationship with. There should be just a certain level of respect. And from my observation, that level of respect has never been there from Offset to Cardi at all. Because some of the things that we've had to publicly hear her get online and cry about and break down about, for her, number one, for her to be who she is as Cardi B, right? This huge force in entertainment, right? This celebrity, this woman that people are looking at, that people are seeking after, idolizing. There should be a level of respect for what she's built career-wise, where you didn't want to do that to her. Because again, we've never heard her dirt when it comes to you. I don't know if there is any dirt. I'm not saying that I know that to be true, but I'm saying that if there is some, we've never heard it. And that's just not how he's ever moving. So for me, I've always felt like I couldn't wait until, they got to a point where they were either doing better as a family and they figured it out, or they decided to move on because you got kids involved now and y'all are public figures. And Cardi B is the mother of your children. She's not just some girl that you were dealing with. This is the mother of your children's mental, their livelihood, their ability to get up every day and be happy is so dependent on this woman. Why would you want to make her life hell? Why would you ever speak to her allegedly about taking her life? What would your children do? So I think that honestly, I think a lot of people get online and laugh and joke about, Offset and the cheating and, oh, he need to go see the lady. And you know what I mean? It's always the future. I miss my grandma when somebody get caught. But like, and if I'm being real, I know that there was the Jason Lee and over at Hollywood Unlocked that teased that video of Offset reaching out to oh dang, I don't know her name. I know her name. I'm horrible with names. Hold on, y'all. Dang. I'm so mad that I don't know her name off the top of my head. They be on my ass about this because I always forget people's names. Okay, there we go.
And I don't think that it is like the Kardashians that have been more of an actual.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. There's the video of Offset reaching out to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, the screenshots of the DMs, and they teased it and people thought it was a whole thing. When really he was reaching out trying to get help, like trying to figure out, wanted to talk to somebody relationship wise. I think that's a good idea. I really do think that's a good idea because I think if what we're hearing, from what Cardi is alleging is true, Offset should definitely figure that out because not even just for the sake of him and Cardi getting back together, that might be done at this point. If I was her, it would be done at this point. But again, I don't judge if not, because it's not my business to judge. It's just my business to report about it and talk about it. But I wouldn't go back at this point. I think he has demonstrated where his level of respect stands. I think his insecurities and his respect for himself are very low, and if he don't love himself, he can't love you. That's what I look at, and that's what I take away from this. But again, people got to learn on their own accord in their own time. But I think that him getting help and really sitting down and talking to somebody might can help him a lot, like a whole lot, because this is just sad to hear. Like, think about how embarrassing that is as a woman. Somebody sending videos of you in your most intimate moments. And then on top of it, it's your child's father. It's a man that you publicly defended. It's a man that you publicly loved. It's a man that you've let publicly embarrass you multiple times, right? Like, this at one point was your rock in your unit. And you're trying to move forward. And yeah, I'm sure things get messy, and your new significant other sees that and understands that. But to go that far, it's like, man, like that is so. How do you explain that one day to your daughters, Offset? Like, that's one of my biggest things. Like, if this is true, how do you ever explain that to anyone? To her family that you call your family, because y'all are family, because y'all have kids together, to your daughters that you have. How do you explain that? Like this is something to me where it's like there's no turning back from here. Now my body has been violated. You know, my sense of self has been violated. You know, my ability to trust you has been violated. And on top of all of this, we're not just normal people going through a breakup. We're some of the biggest celebrities in the world. So now I got to walk around thinking like, oh my God, what else may he do when he's upset? Because I'm trying to move on and live my life and not be walking around on eggshells trying to figure out what girl he's dealing with today, tomorrow, next week. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to be happy over here. And I'm trying to be happy so you don't, like, who knows? You know what I mean? Because imagine how many intimate personal moments that they had between the two of them because of the years that they've been together, right? That is scary as hell. I can't imagine that. If I'm Cardi B, if I'm being honest with y'all, if I'm Cardi B and this does not stop and, you know what I mean, this continues, I got to put some real boundaries in place, whether I do that legally or whatever the case may be, to protect myself. Because if this is true, and again, I don't know if this is true or not, but if this is true, and I think honestly, Offset has been, I would say he's been quiet about a lot, but he hasn't. Sometimes he tweets in response to her and stuff like that. But this is something that, like, if you're going to come out and clear something up, you need to come out and have a conversation about this, because that is low. And even like, you know, FaceTiming Cardi B with your girlfriend, your new girlfriend or whatever, it's like, all right, it's immature. That is very immature. But she knew you was immature for a long time now. And you know what I mean? And she stuck around with that. So I'm sure that there's been worse things that have happened. But like, to me, the sending of the video, the threatening to kill her and kill yourself and all of that, I wouldn't take that lightly. Like, that is, it's too many things happening out here because of relationships domestically. Like, I'm not playing with that at all. Not whatsoever. So I hope that Offset does what he needs to do to get himself together, because it sounds like to me, I don't know, there's something that is not like, if this is true, he can't be in a good space about certain things, because if so, you wouldn't want to hurt someone that, I know he has to still love her to some extent. You made life with this woman. You had a life with this woman. So I hope he does what he needs to do to get himself together. I think that is maybe what he was trying to do when he reached out to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. And if I'm Cardi, again, I know they have kids together, so it's a sticky situation, because you have young kids where you gotta co-parent. Like, one of their kids is literally a baby. But you also are Cardi B, and you gotta do what you gotta do to protect your business and yourself. Because for me, it's like, you only got fooled me once. And he done fooled you a good 10, 20 times. So, you know what I mean? Do what you got to do to protect yourself when it comes to setting those boundaries so that, you know, things like this can't happen. And I don't even know what that means. Like, I literally don't know if that's like, you know, taking things to court or whatever. And I hate to even insert that, because as a woman now, I'm 33 years old, but as a younger girl growing up without my dad in my life consistently, not because my mom didn't let him be or court came into play or anything like that. He just chose, you know what I mean, what he chose. But then also seeing my brother's dad and my mom go through the court stuff and the visitation and how messy that got and how my brother was in the middle, I would never wish that on any family, especially not no black family. I would never wish that. But it gets to a point where you do got to protect yourself. And both of y'all, Cardi B and Offset, have so much at stake here. Y'all have babies in the middle of this. Y'all have y'all livelihoods and how y'all make y'all money in the middle of this. So I just hope y'all get it together, man. And Offset, I don't know. I need to hear something. I need an explanation. I need to know what's going on. Or come out and say that this wasn't true. Something. This has been the first episode of The Latest with Loren LoRosa. I hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Again, I am here weekdays, everywhere you get your podcast. And this is an extension of what I do in the Breakfast Club. I also want to clear that up too. People are like, oh, does this mean she's not at the show anymore? I am still at the Breakfast Club, but this is an extension. This is where we can really sit down. We can really dive in. We can really talk about some things. So make sure you guys, as you're listening to this episode, tweet me, DM me, comment on Instagram. Let me know what you love, what you like, what you don't like. Let's talk about it. Let's do some things. And I did post a tweet, and because I knew I was going to be talking about Cardi B and Offset, and I tweeted and I said, I was asking, the ladies, like, as women, we take so much shit for the men that we love, in quotation marks, ... Why? Because I was listening to Cardi's Twitter spaces, and that was the first thing I thought of. Is like, man, when we be in love, we be in love. We go through ups, the downs, the sides, the corners. We been in the corners. Whoa. We doing all that. Like, if we in love, we locked in. And the men too, but I think men don't stomach what we can stomach and what we do stomach. I also think men compartmentalize a lot better. I think men set their boundaries and their standards a lot better than we do as women, and they don't put up with nearly as much as we do in relationships. And I'm like, why? Like, when did that become the normal thing, and why? And people were commenting. Someone said, ladies love music on X said, because we understand their struggle, we're going to continue to love on them by any means necessary. So she's saying, as women, we understand men's struggle. Jennifer Area, who is J Area X on X, says, let me know when you done found out, baby. This is irritating. Divine Diva on X says, it's with anything we love. I can say the same for cigarettes. I know they mean me no good, but I always find myself back at the store. So basically, she like, whenever we lock in love, we love. Free the Queen, free THA, free the Queen on X says, Black women, because this is what God gave us. This is flawed inventory. While she's saying Black men are flawed, I don't know if I agree with that. I think everybody comes with issues, Black, white, or indifferent. Spitta1001 says, the potential we have, we are greater than our actions. Y'all know we don't. I don't know what that means. Maybe I shouldn't have. We don't. My POP. All right, when y'all tweeting me, like, can it make a little bit of sense? Jordan Anise says, that's Jordan Anise on X. I think there's a plethora of reasons. Overall, I think sometimes we're afraid to lose them in our lives and don't realize that we make room for what's supposed to be there when we let go of the BS. Clock it. That's the one right there. Okay. It's hard though to let go of things even when they're not serving you. And I'm sitting here smiling because I'm like, baby, I be holding on to some things. I be trying to work things out. I be trying to figure things out. That's why I said in the beginning of this, like, I've been here, done that. J Marie 731 says, because at the end of the day, us good men are worth it, especially once we learn that our lady is complete. Our lady completely, it's over with. Oh, okay. He said, okay, so J Marie 731 says, because at the end of the day, us good men are worth it, especially once we learn our lady. It's completely over with after that. And then this is the last one I'm going to read. Ezra RGR on X says, emotions, the lesser sign, logic. Basically, once you get in your emotion, logic goes out the window. And I think we've all been here. So thank you guys again for tuning on in. And again, connect with me on social media. I'm Loren LoRosa everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'm also on Instagram under the Brown Girl Grinding account, which is where we have these conversations like this as well too, in real time throughout the day. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode. Yes, we got through episode 1. I'm gonna just press all the sound effects because I don't know which ones we got. That's it. All right, y'all. Oh shit. Well, I didn't mean to do that one. All right, bye. I'm getting out of here. Bye.